Take off the superwoman, take off the, take off that cape, take it off, because that's not, who, it's not realistic for us to keep that up. It has been a cold and wet day today, but look what I have to brighten my day. I received a package from the Amazon. Yes, you guys are continuing to bless me with just lovely gifts. I already know I had a subscriber that inquired about my Amazon wish list, and I sent a link, and I put a link in my last video, and I sent them a link as well. And y'all, I have another, wow, I have another gift from you guys. Yes, drum roll please. You guys, these I'm telling you, I keep saying it all the time. I need these things. Woohoo! You all, I have received 12 primary journals. These journals are like $3 to $5 a pop, depending on when you buy them and where you buy them from. And you all, whatever I don't use this year for these kiddos, because they are writing a lot. You see the journals on their desk. Let me just show you. You see the journals on their desk, y'all, they are writing in these journals every single day. So yes, we are just working through. I checked their journals. This is some of their journal work. And you all, if I don't use these journals this year, guess what? I'm going to be using them next year. Yes, so I just want to say thank you. Let me see who it is from. Oh my gosh, it says, let me see. You all have been sending me cute little notes as well. It says, enjoy your gift from Enjoy Your Gift. So I'm going to look back and I'm going to put on screen who it is from, because yeah, I think I know. So if I can confirm, I'll put it on screen, but I just want to say thank you. Thank you all for continuing to bless our class and to bless me with, not having to come out of my own pocket with these items that the kiddos need in terms to continue their learning. So thank you very much. I was looking at a podcast the other day, and it really struck me, about how we go above and beyond at our jobs and what that looks like, and how we in turn, I guess, burn ourselves out or don't really get compensated for doing that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think that's kind of like me. Like, I have to really be transparent. And I said, I go above and beyond. I feel like I do. I know that I do based on some of my behaviors at my job. And, to the point where I burn myself out, or I feel like so depleted and go home and I'm just like, I have nothing to give my family. And really, I just want to kind of crawl into bed and go to sleep and just rest and kind of do it over again the next day. And, I was just like, Shay, and I'm saying and sharing with you guys, because I want your feedback as well. I was saying, it is okay to give 100%. I used to be that person who would say, I give 150% at my job. I give 200% and be proud about it. And that is something to be proud about. But I started understanding, and my mindset has started to change, and to understand really, like, giving 100% is okay. Giving 100% at a job is okay. I'm not trying to give you 99, but I'm also not trying to give 101%, because I'm paid to do a job and to give 100%. And so that's kind of what I wanted to talk with you guys about on today. So I don't know if you've ever heard the term quiet quitting. Yeah, that's a term that's kind of out there, and essentially that it just means doing the bare minimum at your job to get by. And I am not promoting quiet quitting. I get it. Maybe in some circumstances, people feel like that is the only route that they can go, but that is not what this video is about. And that's not what I'm promoting today. I'm just talking about stop going above and beyond at the job, which is giving 100%, but not going above and beyond that, and not burning yourself out, me not burning myself out in order to, complete tasks and in order to do my job. And, sometimes employers are the ones who are putting that like kind of demand and that weight on our shoulders and saying like, I need this from you and I need it now. And then sometimes it's we ourselves who are saying, you know what, I want either the promotion or I want to be recognized in a certain way. So I'm putting in all of this work, and I am okay, like putting in work and working hard and working excellently working in excellence rather is I love it. That's kind of my mantra, but I want to give it 100%. And I want those times where I have to work late, come in early, really stress out to complete tasks. I want those times to be the exception and not the rule, because I know even for myself, I've experienced living in the rule of working hard, staying late, doing those types of things, and literally burning myself out and being like, oh my gosh, this is just way too much. Why am I overwhelmed? Why am I feeling depressed? Why am I feeling, tired? Why am I feeling anxious? Why am I feeling unhappy and unfulfilled? And so I know for me, Shay, I had to kind of take inventory and say, okay, are you balancing the different responsibilities in your life? Are you balancing your job? Are you balancing things at home? Are you balancing things at your church? Are you balancing those things, or are you burning yourself out? And I was kind of like, I think I'm kind of burning myself out a little bit here. And I kind of had to do a reset and kind of ask for, a mindset change, really ask God to help me renew my mind so that I can kind of understand and take a different look and a different approach at the different responsibilities that I have, and to balance it out. Now, when I think about work, I have always been, how you've always heard the mantra, arrive early, stay late, that maybe worked 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And I mean, like I said, I'm talking about it being the norm and not the exception. I kind of really feel like that is no longer the case. I know that at my previous school, that I have switched schools, you guys who have been with me for a while. At my previous school, that was really like the norm. We all, not just myself, it was like the norm for us to arrive. I know I would arrive like an hour plus early as my norm. I would normally arrive an hour plus early, leave maybe a half an hour, 45 minutes late. Y'all, I brought that mindset in my now job, in the position that I have at my new school, and I would arrive in the parking lot and I was like, there's nobody here. At my former school, the whole parking lot was full, and I'm like, okay, wait, there's nobody here. Then I said, okay, I'll only arrive a half an hour early. I was like, there's no one here. And then I was like, okay, I'll arrive like 20 to 15 minutes early, and that's when the parking lot started being full of my colleagues, coming to work. And I started saying, okay, let me kind of shift, let me read the room, read the school, and say, wait a minute, let me make some adjustments, because that's not really what's called for here, or that's not really the norm. And I'm really glad I've made that shift. I said, I'm going to leave on time for the most part. I do have moments and times where I do need to stay late, but I said, okay, I'm going to arrive on time and not early. And it's really helped to balance things out. I was like, oh my gosh, y'all, my principal, I don't know if I shared this with you all, but my principal, a couple of weeks ago, I shared with her that I needed to leave early to go to doctor's appointments and to have just different appointments that I needed. And she literally said to me, Shay, because the time that I said I needed to leave, I was going to be rushing to get to those appointments on time. And she literally was like, Shay, where's the doctor's appointment? And I told her, she was like, with traffic, you're not going to make it on time. She was like, I need you to go ahead and to understand that you can leave earlier in order to make those appointments on time. She was just like, I'm all about work-life balance and about having a healthy lifestyle and being okay. And she was like, you can breathe and let me know realistically the time that you need to leave in order to get there on time, and we'll work it out. And I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. And I'm not saying that my former school, there was an issue there. Part of it was just me saying, okay, I want to be with my kiddos. I don't want to miss. And she was just like, Shay. And I kind of sat back and I was like, you know what? It's kind of me. Like, I think that I am putting too much pressure on myself to get my kids to a certain level. And I am not taking the time to take care of myself. I am going above and beyond when it's not necessary, in terms of I just need to give my 100%. and that 150, 120, 100 and 200%, they're not asking me to do that. And even if they were, then it's up to me to say, you know what, I'm not going to be self-sacrificing. I am not going to sacrifice, my personal time in order to meet, whatever, demands that the job has. But anyway, when my principal said that, I was like, oh my gosh, let me slow down and understand that I need to take care of myself and also to put myself first in some instances so that I can be here in order to take care of my kiddos and, to teach them and have fun with them and to help them, with their learning gains. Now, with the podcast that I saw, it was a woman who had been in HR for like 20, 30 years. And she was just sharing, the different changes with companies that the companies have had over the years. And she was just like, our mindset essentially needs to change about work. And I have my notes here. And she said, I like what she said. She said, do your best, but don't give them your best. Do your best, but don't give them your best. And so she said, essentially work with what you have. Do your best with what it is you've been given, but don't give them your very best. So for instance, y'all know that I have been, spending my money on the classroom. You all have been blessing me with so many items that the kiddos need in my classroom, and it has helped me to not spend my own money. And essentially, it's kind of like, let me do my best with what I've been given, but don't let me give until I don't have money to pay, my mortgage, or I don't have money to pay my groceries or what I need. It's like, let me work with what I've got and not give all that I have on a personal level to support what I need in my work life, and then be depleted and operate from a place of lack, or, operate from a place of just fatigue and not having for me, because I am trying to give and, overcompensate or just give because there's a need. And, when realistically, I cannot personally meet that need. And so I was like, that is really true. That's really true. I'm going to give, hopefully from a place of abundance and not from lack. But even if I do give, it should be the exception and not the norm. And if I don't have it to give, or if, the school can't provide me with what I need, then let me just do my best with what it is I have. You know what? If I don't have the big books to read to the kids, which I don't because I had to leave those resources at my former school, let me use what I have. Let me pull up the book on, the computer. Let me read from there. Let me use what I have and do the best with what I have. Also, something that she said that I thought it was worth mentioning, she said, take off the superhero cape. Take off the superwoman, take off that cape. Take it off, because that's not, it's not realistic for us to keep that up. It's like, I can have moments of being a superhero. I need to put on the superhero, cape, the Wonder Woman or Superman cape, but it should not be the norm, because realistically, I can't keep it up, right? And a lot of times with our jobs, I think that when we really show, hey, I'm your person, I can stay late, I can do it, I can work on that project, I'll give my time, my personal time, I'll do this and that. Then, a lot of times our jobs are like, start depending on us to do those things. They start saying, well, Shay can do it because I know she wants to do it. She always does it. Let me give her this responsibility, when in fact it's like, okay, wait a minute. I've set myself up to be that person who is the person who's going to be the go-to person, who's going to be giving of their time, or who's going to be the one who's going to get it done at any cost, when in fact, I should be guarding myself and say, wait a minute, I should not necessarily set that unrealistic expectation for myself or even for my leadership that I'm your person, or I'm the one, because I can't keep it up. And, when you're talking about burnout, I remember I had a colleague, and I don't know how long she was teaching. She was an excellent teacher. And I'm not saying that she was doing this. I don't know her to the extent that I can say this, but I do know that she was dedicated and she's that person. I remember, she's no longer teaching. She decided to leave the teaching profession, but she burned out. Literally, I remember her saying, Shay, you won't see me next year. I'm over it. I'm done. And I was just like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? She's fantastic. And she was like, I can't do it anymore. And I started saying to myself, you know what, Shay, you need to pull back. You don't want to be to the point where you get so tired and burned out until you're just like, I can't give anymore. I'm not going to do anymore. I'm out. I want it to be balanced. I want to have a long career. So yeah, we just really need to pace ourselves, especially as teachers, really in any profession. We need to pace ourselves and understand like 100% is good. 100% is what I should be striving for. I should not be trying to hit 200%, 300% being given to my job. I can maintain that 100%, be even keel, and then, run the race, run the race to, the length of the race, and not have spurts of just, I'm running fast and then I slow down and like that. We have to realize that we're replaceable. And I was like, yes, that is true. We are replaceable, y'all, because the reality is if, for whatever reason, I decide to leave my position or, whatever happens, then they're going to find and hire another teacher. That's the bottom line. Even if something happened to where, I became sick or just, I remember I had a colleague that, passed away and, she, and those things happen. And my school, I felt was really good about just, being there for her family. And we really, stepped up to the plate and stepped up to what was needed, for her and her family. But at the end of the day, all of the items in her classroom were packed and put in a box and sitting in a corner, waiting for her family to come pick it up. And that's kind of how it is, right? And it's like we should not be self-sacrificing for a job. If anything, be self-sacrificing for our family and for our loved ones and for those who are going to be hurt the most if we die, or hurt the most, or be there for us if we are walking through some things. And so I know for me, it's just like, we have to remember, I should be giving my best to myself and to the people who, love me, and opposed to trying to give my best to a job where I'm replaceable. And at the end of the day, my things are going to be stacked up and in the corner waiting for my loved ones to come pick them up. We know with jobs, it's kind of like they shift and move us where they need us to be. If I need to go to second grade, I move to second grade. If I need to go to another school, I go to another school. So we really just have to realize that we're replaceable. I even saw a post where it was really a sweet post, but a woman was saying like her dad was such a dedicated teacher until when he was in the hospital, he had to go to the emergency room. He was there grading papers, and I was like, oh, we know there's the never ending stack of papers to grade. And so she said, but the next day he passed away. And she said he really did what he loved to do, which was teaching and, being a part of the teaching profession. And I kind of thought to myself, okay, do I want that to be for me? And I was like, no, I don't want, 48 hours before I pass, I'm going to be working and grading papers if I can help it. I would rather be spending time with family or laughing or doing other things. To each his own. I'm not, saying anything negative about that post or that person. But the reality is that we're replaceable is all I'm trying to say. We're replaceable. Guys, I'm in my the storage room because they have the announcements going, but I wanted to kind of finish this off with just sharing. I have my notes, and this is what the HR expert said. She says, remember, we are worth having a healthy, balanced, happy, fulfilled life, and live what you know you're worth. And I really like that when she said, live what you know you're worth. I know that I am worth a lot, which I am, and you all are as well. Then let's live a work life and as well as a personal life that reflects that shows like, wait a minute, I'm worth this, right? And so let's just be balanced. Let's just make sure that we are putting ourselves first and taking care of our mental and physical well-being, making sure that we are not overdoing it and giving the job that 300%, 500% that the job may not even be asking for, or maybe they are asking for it and maybe that's just not the right job for you. And, you or me, and we say, this is not a good fit. Let me go somewhere where their expectations are more realistic or are aligned more or better with a balanced lifestyle. So y'all, I personally am, taking a look and taking inventory and stock of just how I approach this thing as well, knowing that, I need to make some changes, which I already have, to say, I am going to have a more balanced work life. I'm going to give 100% and be okay with it. Weigh in, please. Let me know what you think about it. I'm out of here because why? It's time for me to go. This is Shay with The Learning Project. Weigh in. Please give me your comments. I'll see you on the next week. Have a great weekend. Do something fun, and I'll see you.